Hello everyone and welcome back to my opinion. In this video I'll be reviewing day one of the first test between India and the West Indies. Let's get into this review video. Starting off with the playing 11s. India selected, on the whole, they selected how I'd said they should do in my preview video. But I'll say this again, there is no need for Bumrah to play in this series. There are other options available. I don't know if this was their intention, but Prasidh Krishna in the India A versus Australia A series picked up a concussion, so maybe they could have played Bumrah ahead of him for that reason. But as I said, there are other options available. So the two frontline seamers for this match being Bumrah and Siraj, I'd said Nitish Kumar Reddy should play as his third seamer, and they played him. And Dhruv Jurel played ahead of Narayan Jagadisan. I'd said Jagadisan should play, but either one of those is fine. And now for the West Indies, I didn't expect Tagnarayan Chanderpaul to be selected because he didn't play in the Australia series. They are finding who that second opening player could be because John Campbell wasn't playing for a decent while, and Craig Brathwaite, after his 100th Test match, has been dropped. Tevin Imlach is a top-order batsman. He's in this squad, and I thought Kevin Anderson would play at number 3 with Alec Athanase at 4 and Shai Hope at 5. But they played Kevin Anderson in the last Test match versus Australia as an opener, so I thought they would play him in position since he averages 42 in domestic cricket in the middle order, but they didn't play him in this match. So they are looking for players who could be in that second opening slot, so I'm not surprised that I didn't get the second opener selection right. And they played Johan Lane ahead of Anderson Phillip, and I'd said in my previous video, I don't know whether Brandon King scoring the 75 against Australia would guarantee him a place, but they went with him at number 4. Roshan Chase won the toss and chose to bat first. Now, the ball was moving around quite a bit, and when you're comparing Siraj and Bumrah's bowling, Bumrah I thought was over-attacking. He couldn't control the movement because of that. And credit to Dhruv Jurel, where he had to dive either side of the wicket, and he did so very well. Mohammad Siraj wasn't as attacking in the way he bowled as Bumrah, but he relied on the wobble seam delivery. And I don't think either of them started well in the first few overs, but then Siraj picked up, and Bumrah, despite he couldn't control the movement, he also picked up towards the end. So I think that was the difference between Siraj's bowling and Bumrah's bowling. And for the West Indies, I'll say this again. Shai Hope is slotted in the side at number 6. If he's slotted in that low, you have to rescue the team from a collapse more often than not. And I've said this before, they could get in another keeper so Shai Hope could play up the order, depending on whether they don't know how number 3 and 4, let's say, would go. But Shai Hope is the only keeper in the squad. Now, Ahmed Jangu, I've heard he plays long format cricket. He played an ODI, I think, against Bangladesh. I don't know whether he's played Test matches yet. But he's a long format player, and yet he opened the batting in the T20I series versus Nepal. So what they could have done is, if he was in the squad, Ahmed Jangu could have played at maybe number 6, and Shai Hope could have been promoted up the order, but he should at least bat at number 5, because you've seen Roshan Chase 5, Shai Hope 6 are the most experienced batsmen. By the time they walk out to bat, they have to recover from a position of 42 for 4, so in my view, that's what they should do. They were both playing well, but when Shai Hope was dismissed, the writing was on the wall, 163 all up. And with the way West Indies played today, I don't think we can fault them. I thought they still competed to some degree with the batting. It's an experimentation phase for them as to who is going to play consistently. And in the bowling, I thought until the rain break, they kept India quiet. Even Johan Lane, he's not as quick, but I thought he bowled well, none for 14 and 6. Jaden Seals can bowl 140 and he was getting some movement. Unfortunately, after that point, the boundary balls started coming, especially to Jaiswal early on. So if you're looking at this bowling card, where another player who I think is a very good player is Justin Graves. He's someone who, with the bat, he can score in the high 20s or low 30s. He won't score a big score, but you saw he bought 2 maiden overs first up today. I think he's a very good player. But if you're looking at this bowling card, I felt, I don't know whether if the surface eased out or there were quite a few boundary balls after the rain break, but the fast bowlers, no one went for runs as such as much in terms of economy rates, but I've said if India prepare a traditional service, which they did, then it would be good for batting in the first 3 days, and then the spinners would come into play in the last 2 days. Now, the way India players use their feet against spin, especially someone like a Shubman Gill, the spinners, they went for runs at the start, but then I didn't think they bowled badly. Kariapia, I've said before, I've seen him play for St. Lucia Kings. I think he's a good player. And Jamal Warrican's been rising in stature in the past, while Rosalind Chase has been around for a long time. But still, apart from Rosalind Chase picking out the wicket of Sai Sudarshan, the spinners were not as effective. And even the India spinners didn't bowl many overs. So that's why I'm saying that with the way the surface is now, until the last few days, India have configured the surface correctly. I don't know whether there'd be some more movement in the early point tomorrow, but if it's not, India may be looking to bat only once in this test match, bat at least a full day tomorrow, then half a day the next day, and then see what happens from there. From India's point of view, Bumrah has bowled 14 overs, as has Siraj. Is this necessary? I don't think so. If Arshdeep Singh had played this match, he would have done at least the performance that Bumrah has done. I don't think him playing this match was necessary, even when Nitish Kumar already bowled some deliveries of beating the bat. So, other than that, whether he plays in the next match, I don't know. I think India will win this match, and most likely they may only bat once. But if Bumrah has to bowl that many overs when he was part of the Asia Cup touring squad, Siraj wasn't, I don't understand that. But let's see how things go from here. The only thing that could have gone better from India point of view is, unfortunately, Sai Sudarshan, he was dismissed fairly early today. And in the next match, since it's only a 2-match test series, Devdutt Padikkal was introduced before when India played England, and then he went to Australia. Sai Sudarshan played in the England series, and now he's playing now. They may, I'm not saying this is a guarantee, but they may leave out Sai Sudarshan if he doesn't score runs in the next innings, and they may bring in Devdutt Padikkal. It's unfortunate, but we'll have to see how he goes in the second innings. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, share, friends. This is my opinion. Watch it.